Hey guys, welcome back to Building Your Own Cyber Lab at Home with Kyle Slawczyk. In this lecture, we're going to talk about equipment needs for a virtual lab setup. So when you choose a lab setup, you have two choices for virtual. You have what's called the host-based or the guest operating system. Now, the host-based is kind of exactly how it sounds. You have one machine, and think of this as probably a workstation. And it's a headless workstation. It's got the basics you need for virtualization, processor, memory, hard drive space, network capability. It's headless. It probably doesn't have a monitor or keyboard. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to use some software to remote into it and run your virtual machines. Now the best case here is like VMware ESXi or like vSphere or any of the VMware headless systems. And that's great for if you've got one real big beefy machine and you want to run a bunch of VMs and you want them running all the time, great setup. But then there's the guest operating system where, say you have a laptop and you want to bring your lab with you. That's, you would basically have, say, for the example I have here is my laptop. I have a MacBook Pro. It's got 16 gig of memory, and I have VMware Fusion running on it. So I have my Mac OS X as my base operating system, and then I have VMware as my virtualization software. And I've got a bunch of VMs that run in there, and I can, do whatever I need in that lab setup. So those are the two options. The host-based is great if you've got one beefy machine, you want to run machines all the time, but it's not that portable, whereas a guest operating system setup it's a portable system. So requirements as far as equipment for both are very similar, right? The point of virtualization is that you are sharing resources of the main machine. You're sharing the processor, you're sharing memory, you're sharing the hard drive space. So those are the main three things that you need. You need some sort of modern processor. I'm an Intel guy, so Intel i5s, Intel i7s, something that has multiple cores. That way you can assign one core to one machine and another core to another machine, and they have that lock on that processor. The virtual machines have those locks on those processors. And then memory as well. I've gotten here, it said 3 gigs minimum, and that's minimum. If you're going to be running a lot of machines, you really want to be able to give those machines a lot of virtual memory. So I have, in my MacBook, I have 16 gig of memory. That allows me to run a bunch of different virtual machines while also running my base operating system at the same time. And then the final thing you have here is large capacity hard drive. These virtual machines tend to take up a lot of space, right? They have virtual hard drives. They run just like any other operating system. So you're looking at probably about 30 to 40 gigs per virtual machine, depending on what you're running. And that, adds up. If you've got 10 virtual machines, that, adds up to a pretty beefy hard drive. So what I've seen a lot of people do, and I do it myself, is that for a laptop or a host-based system, you buy a removable or a portable hard drive, and you store all your VMs on that. And then you just plug it into your laptop and run your VMs off of your portable hard drive. And that's great. I just think that you need to realize that the speed is a factor here. So my recommendation, if that's the route you want to go, is to buy something that has USB 3.0, or if you've got a Mac, then Thunderbolt is also extremely fast. And between Thunderbolt and USB 3.0, you can actually run your virtual machines right off of the hard drive. The other option is to just transfer them back and forth between the guest or the host machine and the hard drive. So that's the overview of equipment needs for virtual labs. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about equipment needs for physical labs. So we'll see you in the next lecture.